Welcome to Across the Land. My name is Krista LaValle.
Oki Tsanadapi. My name is Tarrant Crosstrout, Blackfoot member of the Blood Tribe.
Come on, and Tarrant, it is an honor to have you as a special co-host today because this is your stomping grounds. This is your ancestral land. What's special about this place?
Riding on Stone Provincial Park is a World Heritage Site. There are pictographs and petroglyphs with messages that my ancestors left for me and you.
Now in today's episode, we're highlighting the theme against all odds.
You may have seen or heard in the news headlines portraying the difficulties Indigenous communities are dealing with.
But there's a resilient narrative crying out to be told that extends from thousands of years ago.
And here to tell us more about the land and the Blackfoot people is Elder Sakokutu.
Nitaniku Sakokutu. Nyumkhtu tu kaina, nyumkhtu tsitapi mutuspitex. And in my language, the Blackfoot language, Oki means hello. Nitaniku, my name is Sakokutu. Right now we're in a core of the traditional Blackfoot territory. And this is a very special place for us. The ancestors have basically been in this area for thousands of years. You know, we're going back 10,000 years or plus. But the thing is, there are many messages that were left out on the land. You have all of the medicine wheels, you got the effigies, and then you got this beautiful place where the ancestors left many gifts for us. And how they left them behind was they made their mark and all their drawings right in the sandstone. This is where they would keep their records. And they would record experiences that they have, journeys, encounters, a place for gathering, a place for ceremony, but at the same time, this was left behind for the future. The Blackfoot language, it was never a written language, it was an oral language. And just think for thousands of years, our way of life, our ceremonies survived through stories. And all of the stories go back to this land and many other places that are located within our territory. When you're coming through the prairies and then all of a sudden you come into this valley, you see all the different kinds of animals, the birds, and then you feel the energy. And this is when you start thinking about the mysteries of the land and all the teachings that have been shared. And this is why I call it magical, because everyone has a different experience. We have many stories about this valley, but the hoodoos themselves, we refer to them as matapi, the people. And having that experience and walking through the hoodoos, you could really feel that energy. And some actually look like human beings. I would look at this as my university, because this is where I can make that connection and really begin to understand the way of life thousands of years ago. And how they have that kinship and that connection with the land. What do you see here? It's an animal. What kind of animal? I think the people that come here and the lessons and the stories that we share with them is to begin to understand how structured our societies were. And I think that history is very important in how we share and convey that to the public and also to the world. And people hear about the Blackfoot people, but to come here and to actually see how our ancestors lived, how they survived as people, and all the messages and the stories that were left behind, so we could learn from that. And this is what we're sharing with the world.
These ancient lands prove the legacy of Indigenous people in Canada,
which extends beyond 152 years of Confederation.
We must continue to tell their stories. Now, Tarrant, you have 4 beautiful children.
Yes, I do.
What's the best part about being a dad?
Well, I love watching them grow and learn.
Nice. Now, our next story is about a young girl who unfortunately lost her dad as a child, and it sent her down a dark path.
This is Jamie's story.
I had grown up in the Edmonton area. My mom was a single mom, raising 5 kids. Growing up in where being a minority, there was still prejudice in school and just not being accepted, like in the playground and in class and stuff like that. At home, it wasn't perfect. We had just moved back from Vancouver and as a family, and actually my father was there at the time. He was a heavy alcoholic. He suffered a lot of abuse growing up on the reserve too. Shortly after he died, I had gotten out of control with my temper, I got really angry. I was really upset and hurt inside. I wanted to blame God. My mom couldn't handle me. I had got kicked out of the house and I didn't know where to go, so I had to live in the youth shelters for a while. I started hanging out with youth that were in gangs, involved in gangs, and girls that were into like prostitution. I started dating guys in the gangs, and so it's like part of them now.
During that time, she was not in a good state. She was using and into just a whole lifestyle with the gangs and stuff. And there was so much pain she was in because she lost her dad.
All around me, I've seen like horrible things happen to girls, and just a lot of violence and fighting. The negative feedback I got as a youth affected my worth, and I felt like hopeless case, and so from there, just let go of anything good I thought I had inside of me, because of the way other people were seeing me. They weren't seeing me as a person. They couldn't see me through my pain. I was doing everything I can to numb myself.
She was like crazy, literally away out there. Yeah, just unpredictable. Could never keep track of her. And that's how it is when, somebody's using.
I had been using drugs for a while, staying with different people or crack houses. I had gotten kicked out. They didn't want me around anymore. Everybody just closed the doors on me.
She had just a crazy, crazy lifestyle. And there was some money missing at my purse, and I thought it was her. And she just ran out that time. I kept trying to find her and reach out to her friends, and she wouldn't call me back. And I just prayed God would do whatever he had to get a hold of her.
I ended up at this guy's house downtown, and he was a drug dealer. He was getting very paranoid. He was saying someone's going to break into his house, and so I finally left there. I was in a restaurant, and I had no idea what I was doing. I was really coming to the end of my rope. I remember picking up a sign, and I was about to throw it through the window, and then he put his arms around me, the waiter. He wouldn't let me go, and I was freaking out. Then finally I broke down from there, and then I started crying, and I just cried and cried and cried.
And the police came and got her, and she ended up in jail. And then when she was in jail, that's when she hit her bottom.
The cops had arrested me, and they said that I had a lot of charges since my youth. So they took me to the holding cells, and during that time I cried out to the Lord and said, if you're real, will you do something about my situation? If you help me out of here, I promise to give my life to you. If you're not real, I'm just not going to care anymore. I'm not going to care about anybody. Right after that, they opened the jail cell doors and let me go. And right then and there, I felt hope, and I felt a miracle.
I love you. I'm so proud of you. Yeah, she's a totally different person now than back then. She's a single mom with a little boy, and she's looking after him. Yeah, she's doing really well now, and she helps lots of other girls.
When you have a chance, and we go out on the streets and we minister to the women. Our organization, we want to set up counseling for them, set up a safe house for them and the children.
God never gives up on us. So his love's enduring, and he's a God of first, second, third, fourth chances.
My background as a First Nations woman, even though I had so much obstacles, I did not let that determine my future. Don't let your mistakes and every time you fall, don't let that determine your future, because we all mess up. We just have to keep going until we finally get that faith, that huge faith.
So proud of her, and I love her. She's like amazing.
Don't let go, no matter how hard it gets. No matter what lies come in your mind, the more I believed in the truth of God, who I am, and my future, the more set free I got.
There are so many children like Jamie who, if they had a safe place to grow up, could have made better choices.
Never underestimate the power of your life and how it can have a profound positive impact on someone else.
Welcome back. In today's episode, we've been highlighting the overcoming spirit of Indigenous people.
Now, pain and failure is something we're all acquainted with, but we don't have to stay stuck there.
Yeah, and Taryn, your story actually models how you got unstuck in the next episode. But you know what? I'm just inspired by those who sacrifice to help others.
That is the exact story of Larry Keekstra and how he devoted his life to help Indigenous youth in Western Canada.
Take a look.
Good morning, happy campers. Time to rise and shine. Another beautiful day here at Camp Living Water. Time to roll out of bed, get some fresh clothes on, and get ready for a beautiful day.
I'm directing this camp for 37 years. The camp was actually started through our church that I was attending at the time. There's actually a missionary that was working with a native reserve, and so that's how the connection came. And then this, as I say, this farmer, he had these buildings in his pasture, and those became the things that they offered to us to use. For 2 years, the youth pastor was the director, and then he moved on from the church. I was in Bible school at that time, so I came home from Bible school, and I just went to see the people whose farm this camp was on, and I said I just really felt the Lord wanted me to be a director.
Pastor Larry is amazing. He's very faithful, very kind, very generous with his time. He doesn't get paid to do this. Instead, you know, he just does it because his heart is for the Native children.
The Lord is good to me, and so I thank the Lord for giving me the things I need, the sun and the rain and the apple seed. The Lord is good.
The thing that really defines our ministry now happened probably 5 years into Camp Living Water. We're in these construction trailers, and at the very end of the construction trailers, we had a little bit of an open room that we use as our chapel, and so we had gathered the kids. The lady that was doing the teaching, I don't even know if she was playing a song. I think maybe she just finished praying. And all of a sudden, the Spirit of the Lord just came. And all the kids started to weep. And we didn't know what to do. We just finally decided we just have to let God do what He's doing. So we just went around and started praying for the kids, and we realized that God was healing the brokenness of their hearts.
Thank you, Lord, that you are able to do it, Lord. You're able to do exceedingly abundantly.
Kids tell me stories about just having to leave the house and finding some little shack or something to sleep in because they don't feel safe when their mom and dad are drinking and people are coming over, and violence, things like that taking place. That's what we really see Camp Living Water. It's a week for them to come and know some safety and know some time where they can feel someone loves them. All the fun that he can have, we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
I've been coming here since I was 5 years old, so for about 19 years, and it's just been such a impactful part of my life. Every single year, I'm always a part in some way.
The first time really connecting with Barry probably when he was a bit older and he started to step up to be a a bit more of a leader. We saw that in him, and he started to attend Bible school. He came to a little short-term Bible school that we had in BC and stayed with us there.
You would think that after 8 weeks somebody would be, very tired, but at the end of the year, it really shows his strength and integrity, because he's the one in the camp, the entire camp, that doesn't give up, doesn't surrender, he doesn't take days off.
I've really learned that God is the God of the details. God takes care of details, and it's those little details that are so important, and he always has those already planned out.
We don't charge 5 cents, 10 cents, a nickel or dime, nothing for the children to come. When I was 5 years old and when I got on that bus, I couldn't afford a $5 entry fee to anything. When I came, my life was transformed, and so many kids' lives are transformed.
It's good to see kids come back year after year, and to see that we can keep having that input in their life. Their regular year is not that victorious. It represents a lot of struggle and stuff like that, and they come back to camp and renew their relationship and find some strength, a little strengthening in that.
I just know that, God has really had a big impact in his life, but God has used him to make an impact also on all the children over the last 39 years.
My desire is to see them just break free from those things of the past and begin to walk out in a new life, a new victory.
Now, come on, Tarrant, let's go, pick up the pace. Tarrant, wait for me.
Come on, Crystal, you can do it! Discipline with exercise can render the most positive results.
However, sometimes we neglect the outside because inside we've got some turmoil.
Facing her struggles and turmoil,
Zelda shares how she reversed aging.
What?
Take a look.
Growing up, I was always called that little Indian girl or the poor Indian family. And even dating, as soon as they found out my background, they wouldn't want to date me. Growing up without a father, I didn't have anybody proud of me, a dad, because he wasn't around much. He was in jail and a lot of things happened. I said to my mom, I don't have a dad. She said, yeah, you do, honey. Jesus is your daddy now. He's going to be with you forever. I was sexually abused at 4 years old. I chose the wrong men growing up because of it, and my first marriage just didn't work out. And then later on, I married again. My marriage wasn't so great. I decided to flee my home, and I went into transition. When I got in there, they helped me find myself again. I stayed there for 30 days. I didn't know what was going to happen to me. And then they said, you know what, we think you need more support. So we're going to put you into stage 2 transition, where you can live there for a year and you can take programs. And that's when I started my path to trying to be a better person and taking control of my own life. Through my marriage, I went through depression, and I had gained a lot of weight. I let my hair go completely white, and I really didn't care about myself. And I had prayed to God, when is it my turn? When do I get a good life? When do I get to look just after myself? Because I had taken care of 3 children, single mother twice. Then I took care of my own mother for a while until she got into retirement home. And then I was just sitting on the couch, and a voice came to me. That was the first time really God spoke to me, and he said, today. I went over to Jenny Craig, and I said, okay, I'm going to start here. Really living my life again, and I found Resonate Church. I walked in there, and the executive pastor started talking to me, and within minutes I was taking the Next Steps program, and I felt like God said, you know what, you're going to do something. You're going to serve, you're going to help your community. So I just immediately started working there while volunteering. And I went and helped in the homeless shelters. We did pop-up hot chocolates, and these things really filled me up, and I just had all this power coming through me. God was with me every day.
We've known Zelda for almost 2 years, and when we first came to our church, she was a really integral part of getting us connected, and we loved her heart for the church.
Super passionate and super joyful, and she's a light in the church, drawing people in. It's just been amazing to see. Yeah, definitely.
This is like everything that I needed to happen in my life right now. I've been through so much, and my journey with God and all these people in my life have changed me so much.
And then I started walking. I said to myself, nobody can do this except for you. You have to do it. You have to get out there, you have to get over all your fears, and you have to get yourself healthy so that you can build a new life for yourself. So that's what I started doing. Okay. When I went to the doctor, these are his words. After he examined me, and he's really proud of me, the way I've changed my health and everything. He said, I never get to say this to a patient. He said, you have reversed your age. He said, your blood pressure, everything is perfect, and you're extremely healthy, and I'm really proud of you. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was telling my story to my friends, I would break down crying. But now I don't have the tears anymore. I just have this power inside me. You are going to walk 10 kilometers today. You're going to kill it. You're going to rock it. And you know my faith has got me through everything. Everything. God is with me all the time. Okay, God, I need strength today. I'm going to get this 10K. So other women, I would say to them, you know what? God will give you the strength. You just have to let him in.
We hope you were inspired by today's resilient stories of Indigenous people.
Special thanks to Riding on Stone Provincial Park for giving us that deeper connection to the land.
Now, Tarrant, in your Blackfoot language, there's no word for goodbye.
No, because I'll be seeing you again.
So you at home, you need to stay tuned for the next episode as we bring you more stories from
Across the land. Got 'em at sing.
See you later.